Greetings, time travelers. Welcome to Time Trek on Ahmed's World. Today, we will learn about Napoleon during the timeline of King Louis XVI's capture and execution, exploring his thoughts during this period. Additionally, we will delve into Napoleon's reception of his first significant command and his capture by the Paulists, Corsican rebels led by Pasquale Paoli. The political crisis in France intensified as severe food riots erupted in Paris between January and March 1792. Adding to the tension, an alliance was announced between Austria and Prussia, with the intention of overthrowing the revolutionary government and restoring the monarchy. Although Britain was not part of this initial coalition, its hostility towards the revolution was evident. With the threat of war looming, the revolution in Corsica took a radical turn. On February 28, Saliceti, the representative of the Paris Convention in Corsica, ordered the suppression of ancient convents and monasteries in Ajaccio, Bastia, Bonifacio, and Corte. The proceeds from the confiscations were to go into the central government's coffers. However, Pasquale Paoli and the majority of Corsicans opposed this move. Tensions boiled over on Easter Sunday when fighting broke out in Ajaccio between Napoleon's National Guardsmen and local Catholic citizens, who sought to protect the monastery. One of Napoleon's lieutenants was shot dead during the clash. The ensuing 4 days and nights witnessed chaotic urban brawls and confrontations between the townspeople and the National Guard. In an unsuccessful attempt, Napoleon even tried to capture the well-fortified citadel from the French regular troops under Colonel Maillard's command. Colonel Maillard subsequently wrote a damning report to the War Ministry accusing Napoleon of treason. Peasants flocked to Ajaccio in anticipation of looting the town. Pasquale Paoli sided with Colonel Maillard, ordering Napoleon to leave Ajaccio and report to him at Corte. Napoleon complied and departed for Paris. Upon his arrival at the War Ministry in the Place Vendôme, he found a chaotic situation. The revolutionary government had gone through 6 war ministers between May and October 1792. Remarkably, no one had read Maillard's report, and the events in Ajaccio seemed of little concern. Furthermore, the expiration of Napoleon's leave in January and his subsequent election to the Corsican National Guard went largely unnoticed. In July 1792, Napoleon received a promotion to captain with a year of backdated pay, but he was not assigned a new post. When he cheekily demanded a promotion to lieutenant colonel in the regular army, citing his rank in the guard, his request was marked SR sans réponse by the ministry, indicating no response. Napoleon's journey from Corsica to Paris during this tumultuous period marked a significant shift in his career. Despite the chaos and lack of attention to his military status, he would soon find himself embarking on a path that would lead to greatness. After arriving in Paris, Napoleon was deeply unimpressed with what he found. In a letter to his brother Joseph, he expressed his disappointment, stating, "The men at the head of the revolution are a poor lot. Everyone pursues his own interest and searches to gain his own ends by dint of all sorts of crimes. People intrigue as basely as ever. All this destroys ambition. One pities those who have the misfortune to play a part in public affairs." Despite his disillusionment with the political climate, Napoleon recognized the need to navigate the complex landscape of the revolution. He realized that to succeed, he would have to play the role of an honest soldier detached from the murky world of politics. However, this role did not align easily with his experiences as a revolutionary in Ajaccio. Nevertheless, Napoleon strategically embraced his new identity. By this time, Napoleon had become a fully fledged revolutionary. He supported the overthrow of the monarchy and the nationalization of Corsica's monasteries, aligning himself politically with the Jacobin extremists. As the Jacobins seemed to be on the winning side of the revolution, Napoleon's inclination towards their ideology grew stronger. While he did not personally participate in the acts of repression occurring in Paris, there is no evidence to suggest that he disapproved of them. The political landscape of the revolution was marked by radicalism, with figures like Maximilien Robespierre rising to prominence. Napoleon's alignment with the Jacobins and his willingness to support revolutionary measures positioned him strategically within the unfolding events. Although Napoleon was disheartened by the state of affairs and the self-serving nature of many revolutionaries, he recognized the importance of playing the political game to advance his own ambitions. His involvement in the revolution would continue to shape his path and propel him towards a position of power and influence. On June 20, 1792, Napoleon happened to be in Paris when a mob invaded the Tuileries Palace, capturing King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. Accompanied by his friend Bourrienne, Napoleon witnessed the armed crowd marching towards the palace. In a moment of intrigue, he suggested, "Let's follow the rabble." They took their place on a riverside terrace, watching the historic scenes unfold with disguised surprise and indignation. 2 days later, Napoleon described the events to his brother Joseph. He recounted how thousands of armed men stormed the palace, breaking down gates, pointing cannons at the king's apartment, and forcing Louis XVI to choose between the white Bourbon cockade and the tricolor cockade of the Revolution. The king, the queen, and the royal prince all donned red bonnets, symbolizing their submission to the revolutionary mob. Napoleon viewed these actions as unconstitutional and believed they set a dangerous precedent. Napoleon's contempt for the monarchy grew as he witnessed the humiliation suffered by the royal family. Although he supported the toppling of the king, he couldn't fathom why Louis XVI allowed himself to be so thoroughly humiliated. The events of that day further diminished the monarchy in Napoleon's eyes. Little did the royal couple know that their time in this hazardous liberty was drawing to a close. Just 10 days later, Austria and Prussia invaded France, sparking the belief that Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette sympathized with the invasion and colluded with France's enemies. The invaders openly expressed their desire to restore the monarchy to full authority. Napoleon's contempt for the Bourbons' pusillanimity was reinforced on August 10, when another mob returned to arrest the king and queen and massacred their Swiss guards. Napoleon, who was observing the events from a friend's house at the Place du Carrousel, joined in when ordered by the crowd to shout, "Vive la nation!" He saw the Swiss guards refraining from firing on the mob, which ultimately cost them their lives. Napoleon expressed his frustration in Italian, exclaiming, "Che coglione," or "what asses." He would later have the bullet holes from that day erased when he resided in the Tuileries Palace years later. These experiences left a lasting impact on Napoleon's perception of the monarchy and the events unfolding in revolutionary France. In early September 1792, Napoleon was still in Paris when a horrifying event unfolded. More than 1,200 people, including 115 priests, were brutally murdered by the mob in the city's prisons. Around the same time, the invading Prussian army captured Verdun, leading to 4 days of rampant killings of suspected collaborators. Napoleon later justified these massacres, suggesting that they were meant to create a powerful deterrent effect on the invading army. He acknowledged that those who carried out the killings were soldiers determined to eliminate any potential enemies. Despite the atrocities, Napoleon did not view the senior Jacobin revolutionaries with disdain. He recognized their significant impact on the world, stating, "Whatever people say of them, they are not despicable characters. Few men have made their mark on the world as they have done." Napoleon himself had a Jacobin past and openly admitted that at one point, it was expected for men of spirit to align themselves with the Jacobin cause. He even provided pensions to the widow and daughter of Maximilien Robespierre, one of the key figures of the Jacobin regime. On September 21, 1792, France declared itself a republic, and the Assembly announced that King Louis XVI would stand trial for collaboration with the enemy and crimes against the French people. The revolution faced a critical moment, and its survival was secured on the eve of this declaration. Generals François Kellerman and Charles Dumouriez led the citizen army of France to a victory against Brunswick's Prussian forces at the Battle of Valmy in the Champagne-Ardenne region. This triumph demonstrated that the regular armies of the counter-revolutionary powers could be defeated by the determined French forces. By mid-October, Napoleon returned to his hometown of Ajaccio in Corsica. He actively promoted the Jacobin cause and resumed his position as a lieutenant colonel in the Corsican National Guard, rather than accepting a captaincy in France's regular army. However, he found the island to be more anti-French than when he had left, primarily due to the September massacres and the establishment of the Republic. Despite the growing tensions, Napoleon believed that Corsica's best course of action was to become a province of France. Napoleon's shift from Corsican nationalism to French revolutionary ideals was not driven by personal or psychological reasons, as some historians have suggested. Instead, it was a result of profound political changes in both France and Corsica, as well as his evolving position within these contexts. Pascal Paoli, the embodiment of Corsican nationalism, opposed the Republic and many other revolutionary measures supported by the Bonaparte family. Paoli even rejected Napoleon's brother Lucien from joining his staff, and attempted to prevent Napoleon from resuming his post in the National Guard. With Pauli's rejection, it became impossible for Napoleon to maintain his allegiance to Corsican patriotism. This pivotal period in Napoleon's life showcased his navigation through the turbulent currents of the French Revolution. In the fast-paced world of Corsican politics, the Bonapartes found themselves losing ground to the Paulists. However, Napoleon's exposure to French ideas, education, and immersion in French culture during his time in Paris had a profound impact on his thinking. While he remained a zealous Corsican nationalist, he began to realize the universal ideals that the French Revolution embodied, which were threatened by imminent invasion from Austria and Prussia. Over the following months, Napoleon's perception of himself shifted, and he increasingly identified as French rather than Corsican. This transformation was fueled by the stark contrast between the provincial concerns of Corsica and the grand ideals of the Revolution. Napoleon saw the execution of King Louis XVI on January 21, 1793, and the subsequent creation of the Committee of Public Safety in Paris as significant turning points. Privately, he mourned the king's death and foresaw the challenges of anarchy that would follow. However, publicly, he supported the actions taken and adopted the Republican address of a citizen in his correspondence. As tensions escalated, France declared war on Britain and Holland on February 1, 1793. Spain, Portugal, and the Kingdom of Piedmont in Italy also declared war on France. The European monarchies sought to punish the regicide republic, disregarding the lessons learned from the Battle of Valmy. In response, the French Convention established the Committee of Public Safety, which became the de facto executive government of France, led by prominent Jacobins such as Robespierre and Saint-Just. The levée en masse, a mass conscription, was declared in August, rallying the entire nation behind the revolution and its defense. The declaration of war against Britain by the revolutionary regime proved to be a profound mistake. The Tory government under William Pitt the Younger saw an opportunity to use Britain's maritime power to neutralize French trade, capture colonies, and strengthen its position as a global commercial power. Britain became the most consistent opponent of the French Revolution and later Napoleonic France, funding multiple military coalitions against France through substantial cash subsidies known as Pitt's Gold. In the midst of these events, Napoleon received his first significant command. He was entrusted with leading the artillery section of an expedition aimed at liberating 3 small Sardinian islands from the Kingdom of Piedmont Sardinia. Accompanied by his Corsican National Guardsmen, he embarked on the corvette La Fauvette on February 18. Despite occupying the island of San Stefano, the expedition faced mutiny among the Provençal peasant conscripts and was ultimately aborted. This period marked a pivotal moment in Napoleon's life as he navigated the complex political landscape of Corsica, witnessed the unfolding French Revolution, and experienced his first taste of military command. After being entrusted with a significant command, Napoleon set out on an expedition to liberate 3 small Sardinian islands from the Kingdom of Piedmont Sardinia. However, due to a lack of support from the Corsican leader, Pasquale Paoli, the expedition encountered numerous obstacles. Instead of the 10,000 men requested by the Paris Convention, only 1,800 were provided. The troops marched without proper supplies, lacking tents, uniforms, cloaks, and artillery train. It was a challenging and inauspicious start for the young Napoleon. Over the next 4 months, as Napoleon served under Paoli's government, tensions grew between Corsica and the French Republic. Corsica's alignment with the British, who were set to occupy the island with Paoli's approval, strained Napoleon's loyalties. He tried to maintain a balance between his Corsican heritage and his belief in the ideals of the French Revolution. However, as the situation deteriorated, Napoleon found himself in a difficult position. In April 1793, when the Jacobins, led by Maximilien Robespierre, gained political control in the French Convention, General Dumouriez, a co-victor of the Battle of Valmy and a Girondin, defected to the Austro-Prussian coalition. This defection, along with other crises, led to the arrest of many Girondin members. The Reign of Terror began, and the political landscape became increasingly volatile. As tensions escalated in Corsica, Napoleon found himself torn between his loyalty to Paoli and his commitment to the Republic. He attempted to navigate this difficult situation, defending Paoli in a pamphlet entitled Address to the Convention, while simultaneously urging the municipality of Ajaccio to take an oath of allegiance to the Republic. However, when Paoli was accused of treason and Saliceti ordered his arrest, Napoleon had to make a crucial decision. The island of Corsica rose in revolt in support of Paoli, their beloved leader, burning effigies of Saliceti and hacking down the trees of liberty planted by the Republicans. Only Bastia, San Fiorenzo, and Calvi, with their French military garrisons, remained loyal to the Republic. This tumultuous period marked a turning point for Napoleon. He faced the challenges of military command, learned the importance of morale, logistics, and leadership, and witnessed the complex interplay between Corsican nationalism and the ideals of the French Revolution. Join us in our next episode as we will find who freed Napoleon and how he became general. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with others who are fascinated by the extraordinary journey of Napoleon Bonaparte.